Cari fratelli e sorelle, buongiorno.
Dear brothers and sisters, good day. Good afternoon.
Sono contento.
I'm happy.
Sono contento di incontrarvi
I'm happy to meet with you
5 anni dall'inizio
as we approach the 5-year
della vostra
mark
attività come
of your
organismo di
activity as an international service
per tutte le
organism
espressioni del rinnovamento
for all
carismatico.
expressions of Catholic Charismatic Renewal.
So che state facendo una verifica.
I know
E per
you
questo è
are
opportuno
engaged in a process of review, and so it is appropriate to ask you a few questions. How is the work of Charis going?
come procedono i servizi locali di comunione.
How are the local services of communion progressing? What information are they sending? Is the Catholic Charismatic Renewal in a healthy state? Is it growing in ecclesial maturity? That, of course, is the primary purpose of your service, and it should always be kept in mind, especially in prayer. Growing in ecclesial maturity. Attentive to recent developments of that current of grace, and that's what we need to call it, a current of grace, which is the Catholic Charismatic Renewal. Charis is called to accompany and guide all charismatic communities in communion on the path ahead. Charis is in some sense a window on the vast and varied world of the Catholic Charismatic Renewal. Those involved in its work have an extraordinary opportunity to look out this window, to peer into the distance, to go beyond local experiences, and to appreciate the rich gifts that the Holy Spirit is bestowing in cultural, social, and ecclesial contexts very different from their own. By discerning this awareness and sharing these manifold experiences, Charis, in carrying out its service, can assist individual groups to move beyond certain limited horizons and offer them a broader charismatic and ecclesial perspective. And I'd like to say something. One time a holy sister said that some Catholics were come horses that have blinders and are incapable of looking from one side to the other. This is sad, and thank God you all have overcome this, and I like this. One goal that you are proposing, and which I have myself have encouraged, is to expand the Life in the Spirit seminars in all places and for everyone. These are truly charismatic moments. They're the new proclamation, new evangelization, opportunities for the initial proclamation of the gospel. They make it possible for people to encounter the living Jesus in His Word and His Spirit, and at the same time to experience His church as a welcoming environment, a place of grace, reconciliation, and rebirth. That is why I have encouraged you to make these seminars more widely available. Today, I would like to ask, are the Life in the Spirit seminars being offered in a variety of ecclesial contexts in small and remote places, even among the poor and on the peripheries? Everyone can give a response in their own heart. One obstacle to this might be to think that these seminars can only be held in large venues with well-known leaders, whereas in reality even small parish groups and local leaders can organize them and present them to people in their area. The Life in the Spirit seminars are often an engaging and transformative experience that becomes a turning point in people's lives. A turning point. After a seminar, people change. It's a turning point. Nonetheless, they are only a beginning, like a fire that burns very intensely but risks dying out unless it is continually fed. Precisely for this reason, after the seminars, needs to be follow-up by suitable methods of continuing formation that can fan into flame the graces received and encourage ongoing growth in faith and prayer, moral conduct, the sacramental life, in the practice of charity and cooperation in the Church's mission. Here I would mention two elements present in the Cari statutes. First, the importance of promoting the exercise of charisms not only in the Catholic Charismatic Renewal, but also in the entire Church. The particular service Charis can perform is that of promoting charisms and encouraging them to be put at the service of the whole Church, to promote, not control. To promote and not to control charisms. To promote charisms, we need to follow. There's a maestro that controls the charism. That's the Holy Spirit. And, they thought they could control Pentecost. There was such a great confusion. But it's he himself who creates the confusion, but also the harmony. And in this way, he's the teacher who teaches us how to promote charisms. This is especially the case for charisms that serve evangelization and missionary activity, aimed above all at those who do not yet know Jesus Christ. And the second, encouraging the spiritual deepening and holiness of people who live the experience of baptism in the Holy Spirit. It should not be taken for granted that once someone has received baptism in the Spirit, that he or she is already fully Christian. The path to holiness always involves growth in personal conversion and in the generous gift of oneself, a gift to Christ and to others, not only in the sense of an individual spiritual consolation. Dear friends, I thank you for your service. Never forget that your task is not to judge who is or is not an authentic charismatic. This is not for you to do. But this is a temptation in the Church from the very beginning. I'm from Paul. I belong to Peter. That's not what it's supposed to be like. Rather, you are called to provide support and advice to bishops and priests by accompanying all groups and the varied realities that make up the charismatic renewal. And if one of you should ask me, but tell me a sign. Tell me a true sign that someone is truly a part of the charismatic renewal. What comes to my mind is people who truly live. The sign of those who are truly living the charismatic renewal are the ones who smile. And this smile be constantly on guard against the temptation to exercise power and influence or to be competitive or overbearing. The true task is to serve. It's important to make room for the new generation of leaders, that those who are in charge. This calls for constant attention to the formation of the young, from whose ranks future leaders will come. During our first meeting in June of 2019, a few years have gone by, we had a moment of silence to pray for peace at the time of the meeting of the presidents of Palestine and Israel, who were here meeting in the Vatican. Brothers and sisters, war destroys, or it is destroying, the memory of past steps toward peace. And we look at this orchestra. They're doing a great effort toward peace. War destroys everything. Everything. It takes humanity away. It destroys humanity. The other day, on the 2nd of November, I went to celebrate Mass at the military cemetery of the Commonwealth here in Rome, and looking at the graves, the age of the soldiers fallen, all of them were young, between 20 and 30 years old. It destroys the young. I don't know what else to say other than it destroys. Please, let's fight for peace. Let's fight for peace. Let's not be robbed of the memory of peace. And now I'd like to invite everyone to pray in silence for peace.
Grazie. La Madonna vi custodisca nella gioia del servizio. Grazie.
And the Pope's last words, thank you. May Our Lady protect and keep you always joyful in the service you render. Our words of our Holy Father to the